going forward. Dr. Purnell, who is a descendant of the Shad family and the Whipper family, and he will again bring his knowledge of his family history as well as the history of the abolitionist movement. And I'd like to take some time right now to introduce Dr. Bruce Purnell and tell you about the programs which will happen in the near future. All right. First, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out. Best parts of yourself. And now we're talking about the concept of freedom. And, you know, it goes back, whether it's the Freedom Riders, going back to abolition, which was to abolish slavery, but the other side of that, the resilient side of it, was to increase freedom. So it was the actual energy that we pulled together to actually become free. It was about freedom all the time. And although some people look at it as straight lines, it's more round circles, because it comes around, and now, where are we? Are we evolving, or are we regressing? We're at a point of physical freedom, but are we mentally free? So where are we? So in this movement, if we want to look at the abolitionists and really draw a foundation as to what are we talking about here? What was the evolution of freedom here in the entire diaspora? You know, and so actually, if we can get this kind of energy, come on out. And right now, Dover, y'all need to give yourselves a hand, because I'm from Washington, D.C. I had no idea that there's this much energy toward this, so let's give yourselves a hand. And the library, I'd like to also thank the library for providing infrastructure for us to actually talk about this, because it's a conversation that has to happen. It's kind of the elephant in the living room. Like a lot of times we don't talk about these hard kind of concepts and these hard kind of topics. Like, you know, what is it? Like, when do we start healing from slavery? When do we start healing from the trauma that, you know, we've experienced over this time? So our young people, a lot of young people don't even understand what this was. So as we talked, Your Honor, about passing the torch on, how you pass the torch on if there's no history of it, right? We have to know what that torch is, and it has to be flaming. A lot of times the torch is burnt out when it's passed on, and young people look at it like, what am I going to do with this? So, you know, actually that's where we're at. So, you know, come on out to the abolitionist piece. And again, I'm a descendant of station masters and conductors at the Underground Railroad, and I had to understand what that means for me. You know, as far as the legacy of carrying on, like this freedom piece. We have a movement, well, actually I'm a psychologist by trade, and I know there's no psychology without history. So it's actually, you have to, you know, understand that foundation if we're going to really intervene in mental health. Because really, we like to call it concept like post-traumatic slavery disorder or post-traumatic stress disorder. It's like that trauma. We have to heal from the trauma. And this, like, this right here, movers and shakers and legacies. And we need to know their story. So, you know, this right here is so important to our healing and our understanding of where we are to go. So, again, I want to thank y'all for coming out. Thank the library for providing infrastructure and everybody else who cares about this, because we have to be excited about it for our children to embrace it. If we don't really care, our children will drop it. So, you know, we look forward to seeing you come on out and continue this discussion. And again, thank y'all.
Programs are being presented at the library, not here at the Schwartz Center.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, this does not end the conversation. Tonight is not the end. This series is going to run through September. The rest of the showings will be held at the Dover Public Library. The next one is actually next Wednesday, July 9th. They are in the afternoon, but they are in our meeting room. And the first one is going to be moderated by Dr. Purnell. Each showing is going to have either somebody who was involved with the movement or a historian that will be there to moderate it. So please share these dates with your community, your family, and friends. And I also want to thank Mr. Brown and Dr. Fingerwright, Dr. Purnell, everybody that was part of the Creative Steering Committee, the City of Dover Human Relations Commission, Delaware State University, and all of you for coming out tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
Would you mind coming up to the microphone, please? We are actually videotaping this tonight. We're trying to make a commemorative video, so if you wouldn't mind coming forward.
I'm a resident here in Dover, and I'd like to thank you for this program. It is good to know about our history, but I'd like to know what our two guests think about the 21 states that we have right now that are repealing voter laws. You know, history is good to know, but we've got things we have to deal with right now. And that's one thing Delaware has not done, is repeal voter laws. And I think they did that in Alabama.
This is what I alluded to. The fact of the matter is that we have to pass it on, we have to continue to fight, we have to agitate, we have to make sure that the shackles, the physical shackles, do not revert into psychological shackles, and our voter rights, our other rights, equal protection under the law, the 14th Amendment, is not removed from those people of color. It is being removed. We have to do something about it. We have to unite. We have to unite the same way that we united for the Freedom Rides, to go and make sure that the laws guaranteed to us under the Constitution of the United States of America will be there for us, will be there for our children, our grandchildren, and the grandchildren of our grandchildren. That's what I think about it.
Okay, if you want to go ahead, thank you.
I'm a current early college high school student at Delaware State University, and I was wondering if you had any advice for me for the rest of my education, like through high school and college. If you had any advice for me to get through school.
Advice for you with regard to
School and college.
stay focused. Stay focused. Give it 100%. Okay? Don't lose sight of the prize. Okay? Because once you complete your studies, you're in a better position to make the kinds of changes that we're talking about. And if you're at Delaware State, you can always come see me. Price Building 217.
May I just say this to you? I agree with Dr. Wright. Keep focused, but remember, you are the best thing that has happened to you. You can achieve anything that you want to achieve. I'm not going to say it's smooth, it'll be bumpy, but keep on plugging away. That's what I have.
My name is Mark Van, and I would like to ask a question to Mr. Brown. What advice would you have for me through manhood? Through manhood.
Manhood? Don't let your pants go down to your ankles. However, what you have to do, again, I would use the same thing, word as Dr. Wright said. Keep focused. You do not let anyone turn you around. People will try to turn you around. Your friends will try to turn you around. If you study, they'll say, oh, They'll call you all sorts of names. Don't let that bother you. They're the idiots. They're the ones who are not, going to achieve. You can achieve. Not you can achieve, excuse me. Mayor Cole, you will achieve. I'm looking at you right now. You're an excellent young man. You will continue. I'm not saying, change your attitude. Learn as much as you can. And if I may, this is something that I believe Dr. King has said. You can't be a pine on the top of the hill. Be a shrub in the valley. But be the best little shrub on that side of that hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, be a trail. For it's not by size that you win on your favor, but being the best at whatever you are.
We actually have a few more minutes if anybody else would like to ask a question or share a piece of their history.
How are you? What a joy it is to have you here. Thank you very much. I'm a retired police officer, and I'm curious. Were you getting any black officer assistance during that time? And were there community groups that were actually coming together wanting to defend you when you were trying to make a nonviolent movement?
Did we have any black officers in Greensboro at the time?
No.
That's Greensboroites.
There were none?
I
I come from a family full of police officers in the South. So I didn't know. Truly, I did not know. So I'm trying to find out my history as well.
No, we didn't have any in Greensboro at that time.
Okay. Were there any?
There was another part of the question.
Were there any groups that were determined to fight for you that you actually had to say no? We don't want your assistance.
No. You mean fight in terms physically? Fight for
Wanting to defend you, wanting to help your cause by being that physical defender if need be.
No.
Okay. All right, well, that answers my question. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, well again, I want to remind you the conversation does not end tonight. Please take your programs with you. All the dates and times of the other documentaries are listed in there. They are shown in the library. And thank you again for your time and attention this evening.